So it's been a week now since I've left the cruise and I've returned home, and I feel that returning to my usual life before the cruise, I'd say was very smooth. Like, as soon as I got home, I just kind of unpacked and then rested, and the next day I just kind of went back to doing my usual things, I guess, and it all just kind of came back really naturally. It was almost as if I never left on holiday. So adjusting to my usual life was definitely very quick and smooth. But yeah, for the past week I have been working on my book, but it's weird because I've been working on the drawings and I do have the motivation to do it, but I lack the energy to do it, if that makes sense. So I'm only able to work on it for like maybe 30 to 45 minutes a day, which is a bit shorter than how long I usually work on the book each day. But yeah, for whatever reason, coming off the cruise and then returning home this past week, I've just been lacking a lot of energy. Like, I've just been feeling really exhausted, and I don't know if it's using up all the energy from a holiday or there's just some kind of change from the cruise to my usual life that's affecting my energy levels. But whatever the reason, I've just been feeling really tired, and apparently a lot of like my mum and some friends who also went on a cruise also experienced the same thing. So it's not just isolated to me, so it's quite a weird phenomenon, I guess. But yeah, I've just been feeling tired, only able to work on a book a little bit each day. But other than that, yeah, there hasn't really much else to report on, really. So overall, this week has been pretty usual for me. So, but definitely been resting a lot since I've been feeling more tired than usual. But other than that, it's been the usual week for me. So, ever since coming off the cruise, I actually promised myself that I would actually go on a diet. And I know I've said that many times on this channel, and each time hasn't really gone too well. But this time I'm actually doing it for real. So I'm actually semi going back to the one meal a day. And I say semi because I'm not like strictly. So I am actually going one meal a day for the most part. But if I feel that my body can't quite handle the extreme diet, then I will actually allow myself to kind of eat something very small just to quench that. Just to kind of give myself a bit more energy, and that means like having like maybe some one or two fruits or maybe a bit of salad, so mainly healthy stuff just to kind of give myself the energy if I do require it. And at the start, when I got off the cruise, I weighed 262 pounds. And to be honest, I was actually quite surprised because I do feel that I ate quite a lot on the cruise just because there's a buffet, and I never really felt hungry while I was on there. But I did limit myself to not eat too much as well. But even despite that, I was expecting I might weigh around 267 pounds, so I was surprised that I only gained 2 pounds while I was on the cruise. And now that it's been a week, I've managed to come down to So the last I checked 2 days ago was £257. So in a week I've already lost £5. And I guess the reason why I'm taking the diet so much more serious this time is because if you watched my video when I went on cruise, so my last video, I mentioned in it that I twisted my knee while hiking up the mountain. Well, it was actually more like descending, but even climbing up the stairs, I could feel my knees were just, they couldn't support my weight, and they just felt really weak and fragile, and it kind of gave me pain as well. And then coming down resulted in more pain as well, because I'm kind of like descending, and then at one point I kind of descended at a bad angle, and that twisted my knee, and that made walking painful afterwards, even on flat terrain. And I was with about 5 other people, and they're all a lot more fitter than I am, and neither of them really had any problems hiking, and it was only me, so I could tell I was like kind of a bit of a burden, and I was kind of slowing the others down, even if they didn't really feel that way. But that was just kind of like the wake up call for me, is that okay, I really need to lose the weight and, you know, help my knees, really, because my knees just, they can't take the weight I'm currently at, and it even hurts my knees just to like sit down and getting up from a chair and stuff. So that was kind of like the wake up call for me, is like, okay, I really need to go back on my diet, like for serious this time. And like I've said, so far this week I've already lost £5, so I am proud of myself for achieving that so far. And I guess my goal at the moment is going back down to £240. And then once I reach that, hopefully I'll see about maybe going further or just keeping it at that weight, because that's the goal that I gave myself last time. But last time was coming down from £280, so that was losing £40, whereas this time it's only losing about £20. So it's, you know, shouldn't be as challenging as the first, but still I've got to make sure I stick to my diet. But yeah, that's just a little update on something else I've been doing this week, and I do plan on continuing the diet into next week and further as well. So now I'd like to talk about how I've been feeling in myself in terms of my social kind of interactions. So lately I feel that my social anxiety has been quite high lately. Like whenever I have to engage pretty much anything with someone, especially strangers, I feel that I get really anxious and nervous and have difficulty looking them in the eye when I speak to them, and my speech just feels really lacking and just no confidence to it at all. Whereas about 2 months ago, I felt that my social anxiety was much more manageable. Like I didn't feel nearly as nervous or as scared when speaking to people, and I was able to keep pretty decent eye contact with them as well when speaking. But I guess like at that time I was on the higher dose of the medication, and since lowering it a few months ago, I've kind of adjusted to the new dose. So I guess that means that, like, yes, I'm able to express more emotion, but I feel that it has kind of lowered basically my social anxiety. So when I was on the cruise, I barely spoke to anyone really. Like, I only spoke if they spoke to me first. Like, I rarely engage in conversation first, even when there were things that I wanted to, like, for example, if I overhear someone speaking that piques my interest, I do have some things that I'd like to add, but just didn't have the confidence to say it. So I definitely feel that since lowering the medication, it's helped improve my emotions and that, but it's also lowered my social anxiety and stuff. So yeah, it's hard because after taking medication for so long, I'm still trying to find the right balance of what is the best for me. And so far, it's been a real challenge. Like, when it's too high, there are some things that I lose and gain, but when it's too low, there's some things that I gain but lose. So I'm just trying to find the right balance for all of it, really, to help me just feel more confident and more healthier as a person, I suppose. And I am expected to see the doctor maybe sometime this month or next, if that's possible, because I was originally meant to see her this month, but I think I mentioned this in the past, but because I had the cruise to go on, I had to kind of change the appointment. So far I haven't heard from them yet, but hopefully it won't be too much longer. So I'll definitely bring up these issues I have with my doctor, and then I'd also like to talk about the transcranial magnetic stimulation with her as well, to see if that's a possible treatment for me. So I guess that's pretty much it for this week, so hopefully I'll see you next Saturday. That's it for this video. My name is Hoiman, and please consider subscribing. I'd really appreciate it. And remember, always look forward, keep hope alive, and remember, you're somebody.